There are various construction projects going on every day. Large structures are constructed, robots are built similar to humans, and buildings for flying cars already exist. Therefore, numerous advancements are happening on our planet. Welcome back to Explained. Humanity has lived in dysfunctional, polluted cities that have disrespected nature for too long, yet a social revolution is underway. The Line, a planned smart linear metropolis, is now being built in Neom, Tabuk, Saudi Arabia. There are no roads, cars, or carbon emissions expected, but they nevertheless have several problems. The Line, a contentious mirrored linear megacity that is a component of Saudi Arabia's most ambitious project, Neom City, has officially started construction. Several excavators can be seen digging a long, straight hole in a recent video that circulated on social media and was shot in the vast desert in the northwest of the Arab nation. The city's 100-mile-long foundations are anticipated to be constructed within the trench. Even though architects and economists had questioned the project's viability when it was first presented in 2017, it continuously aroused eyebrows for proposed flourishes like flying taxis and robot maids. Do you know how there were numerous controversies going on behind this project? Do you want to know? Well, we'll cover this all in this video. People were certain that this concept was just a utopian fantasy that would never materialize, but now the development of this future megacity is already underway. Can you believe it? The first phases of the construction are seen in drone footage taken over a portion of the enormous site. The video depicts a large number of vehicles and machines working in the middle of the desert, extensively excavating the ground in preparation for development. The line will be 170 kilometers long, 500 meters high, and 200 meters wide along the whole length of the project, which is currently under construction. However, if you closely examine the construction video, the breadth of the trench that's being excavated does not seem to fit the proposed parameters. Large park areas, rivers, and waterfalls can be seen in the recent image releases. There are sports complexes, residences, and businesses inside this enormous building. This one has all the features, right? Would you like to live here? The trench visible in the drone footage is far smaller than the real size of the line, which should ideally be 3 times the size of this trench. 200 meters is roughly equal to 2 American football fields. Consequently, there is a chance that this excavation could only be the construction of an underground high-speed transportation system that will run the entire length of the city is currently in the planning stages. Arguably the most dramatic project currently underway in architecture and construction, the Line can accommodate 9 million people and stand taller than the Empire State Building with a massive, elegant mirror glass facade. This will be a huge project and everyone will be waiting for it to be completed. Do you want to know how they planned this though? Do you know the name of the Saudi Crown Prince? His name is Mohammed bin Salman, and he is the one who revealed the Line's strategy in a speech that was televised on the Saudi state television on January 10th of 2021. The first inhabitants were anticipated to move in during 2024, and construction work started in October of 2021. As of July of 2022, the project's initial phase was expected to be finished in 2030. On July 25th of 2022, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who serves as the Neom board chairman, issued a statement and promotional video which increased media attention to the project. Critics worried that the project would build a dystopian and artificial facility that would disrupt the migration of birds and other wildlife and have already driven out the indigenous Hawaiian tribe have raised concerns about the design's merit and environmental difficulties. According to Saudi Arabia, the country's GDP will be increased by $48 billion and 380,000 jobs respectively. The Line is expected to be the first building completed in Neom, a $500 billion city. So overall, it will enhance everything. What are your opinions about this? Do you know about renewable energy? The city will only be powered by renewable energy. The Line will have 3 levels, an upper level for walkers, a lower level for infrastructure, and a lower level for transit. The transportation layer will include the high-speed rail system, which should be completed in 20 seconds. It will be quicker than the current high-speed rail at the time of introduction, with a top speed of 512 kilometers an hour. Artificial intelligence will monitor the city and develop strategies to improve residents' daily life in the Line using data and predictive modeling. You can travel anywhere without being stuck in traffic. Also, you can breathe properly because no toxic gases are emitted. Many people consider it to be their ancestral and present home, including members of the Hawaiian tribe who are being evicted of their dwellings for what many consider to be a vanity project that won't amount to anything in the end. Anyone who has dared to express their disagreement with the government's plan or who has refused to give up their personal properties has been hounded and kidnapped by Saudi security personnel who have detained and, in some cases, killed them. This is the controversial thing that we've talked about before. For instance, a well-known Hawaiian activist named Abdul Rahim al-Hawaiti was killed by police in April of 2020 after posting a video on social media to raise awareness of the forced eviction. Killing someone for this work seems bad. No one should do that, right? Due to the problem, some business partners have even reneged on contracts. Even if Neom is built in the end and delivers on its promises, there will still be a lot of other reasons to be concerned. Given the country's history with regard to human rights, some are raising questions about the government's plans to improve the city's appeal to visitors and residents. Unfriendly toward migrant labor in particular. Concerns have also been raised over the line's potential impact on regional bird migration. According to the concept, all daily services would be accessible on foot within 5 minutes of each line node, and high-speed transit trips between nodes would take no longer than 20 minutes. In the opinion of some experts, these objectives cannot be supported at the current level of public transportation. Larger nodes that could accommodate more passengers would be needed for the route. If there aren't enough passengers at each stop, it would be impossible to sustain this infrastructure economically. Also unknown is whether the necessary technology for the line transit system already exists. It would take 318 miles per hour to cover 100 miles in 20 minutes, which is far faster than the current high-speed rail. More than 1.8 billion tons of carbon dioxide would be released during its construction, which is more than 4 years' worth of the UK's emissions. Building the line and seeing it through to completion would undermine much of the promised green strategy. It wouldn't produce pollution after its completion, but they certainly will produce a lot of carbon dioxide during construction. What's the use then, right? Do you think so? Saudi Arabia will have to overcome obstacles related to technological and financial feasibility that are both domestic and external. The biggest economic challenge Saudi Arabia faces is that it's not been very successful in luring financial support and investment from foreign governments and corporations. This is because many Western nations and corporations boycott the kingdom due to its history of human rights abuses, even though the original plan called for Neom to be finished by 2030 with a budget of $500 billion. Although the profile depicted in the concept image was monotonous, Dutch architect Winnie Maas thought it would encourage unfavorable wind flow through the interior, despite the fact that he would want to live in such a setting. He commended the overall idea of addressing urban densification and temperature control. According to Philip Oldfield of the University of New South Wales, a city's quality of life would likely depend more on how efficiently it was run than on its aesthetic appeal. Because of agreements that would misrepresent consent to sharing data and because of Saudi Arabia's terrible human rights record, digital rights scholars like Vincent Moscow claimed that the city's data gathering plan might turn into a surveillance city. According to Joseph Bradley, Saudi Arabia has a personal data protection statute and the Neom coordinators are working to resolve privacy issues. According to some reports, the city might be finished in 2050, resulting in a large cost increase. The kingdom is expected to pay $1 trillion for the entire project, including the railway. Except for conversations with some foreign businesses, particularly Russian ones, the project is funded by the Public Investment Fund and the Kingdom's Sovereign Wealth Private Investment Fund. What do you think though? Will this project be completed before 2050? Can it accommodate this many people? Let us know your opinions down in the comment section below. Also refer to other videos on our channel, and for more interesting videos, click the subscribe, like, and bell icons. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next video.